Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another experiment where today we'll be turning Gibraltar into a footballing powerhouse, or at least trying to. So we've done what we normally do and given every Gibraltar club all the best facilities, the best youth recruitment, all that sort of thing, and hopefully we will see them shine. Hopefully we'll get to see Gibraltar become a decent side. Now they're currently sat 196th in the world. The National League, Gibraltar National League, is 103rd in Europe in their rankings, and we see Lincoln Europa FC being the only real contenders for the championship itself. Best player currently, Liam Walker, is their key player. I mean, he looks half decent. Who's he? He's currently at Lincoln Red Imps, but he's played in English leagues as well for Portsmouth, for Notts County as well. So he's a decent player, centre midfielder, attacking player. Otherwise, a few more players. Scott Wiseman, who you might recognise as well, played for the likes of Salford, Chesterfield, Rochdale as well. So in the League 1s, League 2s of the world. So there you go. That's another one. 35 years old now, but, you know, still going strong. And Jalen Hankins as well is a centre midfielder. Currently was in Gibraltar for a while, but has moved over to Spain to hopefully get a bit more game time at a higher level. 20 years old. Interesting. But that's kind of where they're at. We will have to see how they get on and how they develop, if they're able to make any big changes, and if this 196th rating goes up at all, and if they manage to make it to any sort of competitions in the world. But there you go. We will jump ahead and take a look how they get on. All right, here we are then. We are in 2025 now. World ranking has gone up. They've gone up a whopping, 15 points. You can see there, we got to 180th in the world. Leo Patterson is the new star man, and he is looking pretty good. Not too bad at all. 60 appearances, 1 goal for Lynx, 19 years old, and his contract is expiring, so maybe he'll get a move abroad. 4 appearances and 1 goal already for Gibraltar. Charlie Proctor is another one in here, which is quite a big name for them, apparently. 18 years old for St. Joseph. TJ DeBar is a real player. I know about him. So pretty good so far. Let's take a look then at the schedule and see how they've got on over the years. So yeah, not great, let's say that to start with. In 2021, we know that's not always going to happen. Did draw against Latvia, which is good to see. Point to point at the end of the day. They did beat Liechtenstein in a friendly as well, so again, pretty good. And Estonia, they beat them in the European League, which is, I think that's the weird competition in it that they do in Europe and whatever that no one really cares about. But there you go. Beating Estonia, unfortunately, obviously lost to Greece and Georgia. Drew against Estonia on the other side. We knew move on a year again. Again, Andorra they were beating, but again, unfortunately, not quite good enough otherwise to get into any sort of competitions. Friendlies, beating San Marino, drawing with Luxembourg, beating Malta. So they're becoming the best of the worst bunch, if that makes sense. They're getting some sort of achievements out of it, I guess. And then, unfortunately, in the World Cup qualifying, lost to the likes of Ukraine and Germany quite comfortably. Although 3-0 isn't that bad. I've seen them get battered by a lot more. So there you go. Let's jump ahead again then and just see if there's any more developments with regards to their world ranking and performances. And here we are. So 2030, another 5 years on now, and we can see 171st in the ranking. So they have gone up even more, another 9 at this time. Mark Bauer being the key player for them now. A striker, looks actually pretty decent. Not a bad player, playing for Napoli currently in Italy, but also wanted by the likes of Eintracht Frankfurt, Augsburg, Sampdoria, Hoffenheim, Mainz, Freiburg. So he's a wanted man. 56 caps and 8 goals for Gibraltar at the age of 24, which isn't bad going, really. Can we see any more? Charlie Proctor, Another one currently playing for Sheffield United, played a lot in England and what I think is maybe Austria. Let me check that. Yeah, I was right. Austria. Great. But yeah, not a bad little player there. Looks half decent for a fullback. So that's good to see. Robert Tavares, again, another one who's playing in Germany now. Centre half, wanted by a few clubs by the looks of things. So again, looking very, very good to see. They are starting to develop some players who are playing in Europe, playing in a bunch of other countries as well. So that's nice to see. The league itself is rising, 78 in the reputation. So that's obviously very, very good to see. And we've had a change in guard. Man 62 top in the table there. So very nice to see as well. Let's take a look at the schedule then. Let's see where they've got to. No one look quickly whilst we skip all the way back. But beating Iceland, what an achievement that is. That's 2-1 to Gibraltar. Iceland losing out on that one. So a very, very good result there. And a 2-0 win against Luxembourg in the International League relegation playoff. They must have avoided relegation there, having beat them in the first leg and then losing only 3-2 in the second. So well done, Gibraltar. The European League, though, they did end up losing like every game, losing to Lithuania as well, so not great. Again, 2027, all losses across the board there. But it looks like things turned around a little bit in the European League. As we can see, in the International League relegation playoff, I think they won that on aggregate. I don't know, they lost that. Kazakhstan must have won it because of the one away goal that they got. So they must have got relegated, and that's what's allowed them to basically be very good. Beating San Marino 3-2. San Marino 3-2. Malta 2-2. Belarus 2-1. Marino again 3-0. And again 2-0 and 2-1 against Malta and Belarus respectively. So looking pretty decent and a very interesting kind of setup. They have unfortunately only beat Malta in 2029, but got a draw against Iceland and Malta as well again. So, and only losing to Portugal and Kosovo 1-0. I mean, it just shows that things are getting better for them. They are getting better, slowly but surely. They are getting a better side. But still, no European competitions, no other competitions other than those that they are already in at the start. So, a little bit of a shame, but they continue to grow, 171st in the world. Let's jump again and take a look and see if they can continue that growth. Okay, 5 years on again, and we can see now 148th. Obviously the highest they've ever been. I mean, you can't really argue that, but we were all the way back in around 171st, weren't we, previously? So not a bad start. So as things stand, Charlie Proctor is the man of the hour. Currently Atlanta, interested by Newcastle, but he has certainly travelled around a little bit, going to plenty of places, and he looks a decent player for a fullback, not bad at all. You've got Gary Byrne as well at Brentford, another player there that's 22 years old, played around the world a little bit. For a second there, I thought that said 71 goals scored, and I was like, he's a goalkeeper. How the hell has he done that? He's obviously conceded. Idiot. But yeah, that's obviously very good. Robert Tavares, again, a centre-half at Fortuna. Patrice Berry, currently at Le Mans in France. Not so good looking there. Cameron Bernard at Laredo. Is Laredo in Spain, I'm guessing? Yeah, Laredo is in Spain. There's quite a vast drop-off at some point. But Mark Bauer is probably the other one who's kind of a bit of a standout player for them. Looking very good there. Now, let's take a look at the schedule once again. See how things have gone for them over the last 5 years. A couple of wins in 2030. A 4-1 win against Latvia being the kind of highlight of that. And then we've got a draw against Wales in the Euro Championship qualifying group stage. Wow, that's quite impressive, I have to say. Did get absolutely battered by Italy and Germany, but hey, a draw against Wales isn't something to be sniffed at. And we can also see, unfortunately, a lot of losses in the European League division. Again, North Macedonia, they did manage to get a win over. Northern Ireland, they beat. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is starting slowly. A draw against Sweden. Okay, here we go. I think they're starting to get something from this. We can see again, Kosovo and Albania, another two teams that they've beaten. Belarus, we've seen them beat before. But again, Albania, they did a job over on them. 0-0 in the first one and 1-0 in the second one. Just shows. Then we've also got Serbia, who they did lose to, but drew against Greece. So there's every opportunity that if we go another 5 years, they might just about get something, or at least be fighting for it a bit more, which would be great to see. Before we do jump ahead, let's take a look. 79. So they've continued to do pretty well in the kind of competition reputation table. 6-man 62, though, does look like it's gone back to Europa FC and Lincoln being the top dogs in the division. No real surprise there, as they are and were the big dogs anyway. But with that, let's jump one more time, take a look and see if they are able to manage any further, see if they can get any closer to that top 100. I mean, they've jumped a long, long way already, so it'll be interesting to see if they can make it. But let's jump and take a look. All right, here we are then, 5 years further on, and they have been so close to breaking in that top 100, 109th now in the rankings. Let's take a look at who is around them for that. So if we jump all the way down to 109th, we can see you've got Panama, Afghanistan, Singapore, Gabon, Bolivia, Guyana. So obviously they're not world-beating clubs, but jumping that far up is very, very impressive, considering they were all the way down here with the likes of Mongolia, Somalia, Macau, Swaziland, American Samoa, who are obviously not known for their footballing abilities. So it does show that you can really turn a nation round. Ruben Hessian Harris is a new one we haven't seen before. Looks half decent. Let's take a look at the man of the hour, though. Gary Byrne, it's this time. Key player, goalkeeper for Mines. Yep, looks okay. Nothing too special, I wouldn't say. Reece Spong, I mean, the name itself is just top tier. Because what a name. What a name Reece Spong is. Quality stuff. So let's take a look at they're playing a 4-1-4-1 if you wanted to know that. There you go. Let's jump back a couple of years quickly and see how things have gone on. Wow. Okay then. European Championship qualifying group. They managed to do pretty well. Beat Malta, beat Estonia, drew against Greece, beat Serbia, and Estonia and Malta again. Only lost to Holland 2-0. So, I mean, I guess they maybe didn't make the European Championships, but it's not a bad attempt at it. Division C, it looks like they've won that because they beat Lithuania, Armenia, and drew and lost Albania. So maybe if Albania did quite well, but otherwise, not bad. World Cup qualifying, Faroe Islands beating them. Montenegro and Wales were draws. Beat again, but they're beating Wales, they're beating Montenegro. I mean, they're not bad teams at all. The Cats just decided to smack the keyboard and see what happens. Unfortunately, they must have got promoted in the European League Division C group. I can't remember what that's called, but it's a horrible competition that no one actually gives a monkeys about. But they did manage to beat Andorra, drew against Luxembourg there in 2039. Again, doing pretty well in the European Championship qualifying groups. Drawing against Portugal, which I don't think we're never going to see that in real life, are we? Ireland beating them, Malta, Iceland as well. Some incredible wins there. And we can see in the relegation battle as well. But wow, I mean, that's not bad going. They didn't qualify, but they are actually look like they're fighting for it. So obviously their only real chance is coming second with a good enough points tally. And I mean, if we were to go on more and more years, I think that would happen. And at some stage, they would break into the Euro Championships. But we're not going to do that today. If you would like to see that, let me know. And I'm sure I can get that sorted to see if they could break into it in another 20 years or so. But with that, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one.